What's up with the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it in the title. Before we get in this video, definitely want to say big thanks to y'all, sharing these videos, liking these videos, and doing what y'all can. It's definitely amazing. I definitely love it. I'm not even gonna lie. I definitely love it. I try to get to everybody comment, but when I tell y'all, it's a lot of comments. Probably get around from 5 to 10,000 comments every 28 days or so, or like it had to last 28 days, I guess. So I try to get to everybody's comment. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a lot of comments. I've always been like that ever since I started doing YouTube, is to try to comment back to everybody. And on top of that, I feel like it's so many other YouTubers, influencers, that don't really engage with their, subscribers, their fans, or anything like that. And I try to do that. I definitely try to do that. I feel like it's something that, is needed, not only for myself, but from others. But y'all have it here. RFK Jr. says Tylenol isn't just linked to autism, but also ADHD and liver, in the kids. So one thing about it is that, this is information that we obviously need to have. No matter, who has to say about this or what, somebody has to say about that. This is information that I love to see, because I feel like a lot of this stuff is, it's hidden. It's definitely hidden. I've never been a person. Well, I ain't gonna say never, but I would definitely say, in the last, really like almost like the last 7-8 years, I haven't been really like a medicine person unless I really have to take medicine. Even with, my family, it's try to look at that, that home remedy, you always look up and try to see, but this is definitely something that, wanted to check out before, we get into, what the View had to say, and what RFK Jr. Wife had to say on the View today. Or yes, it was yesterday, I'm pretty sure. But check it out.
Important findings from our autism work that are vital for parents to know as they make these decisions. First, HHS will act on acetaminophen. The FDA is responding to clinical and laboratory studies that suggest a potential association between acetaminophen use during pregnancy and adverse neurodevelopmental outcomes, including later diagnosis for ADHD and autism. Scientists have proposed biological mechanisms linking prenatal acetaminophen exposure to altered brain development. We have also evaluated the contrary studies that show no association. Today, the FDA will issue a physician's notice about the risk of acetaminophen during pregnancy and begin the process to initiate a safety label change. HHS will launch a nationwide public service campaign to inform families and protect public health. FDA also recognized that acetaminophen is often the only tool for fevers and pain in pregnancy, as other alternatives have well-documented adverse effects. HHS wants, therefore, to encourage clinicians to exercise their best judgment in the use of acetaminophen for fevers and pain in pregnancy by prescribing the lowest effective dose for the shortest necessary duration and only when treatment is required. Furthermore, thanks also to the politicization of science, the safety of acetaminophen against the risk of neurodevelopmental disorders in young children has never been validated. Prudent medicine, therefore, suggests caution in acetaminophen use by young children, especially since strong evidence also has associated it with liver toxicity. Some studies have also found that use of acetaminophen in children can potentially prolong viral illnesses. FDA will drive new research to safeguard mothers, children, and families. In addition to a possible acetaminophen connection to autism for pregnant women, infants, and toddlers, our research has revealed that folate deficiency in a child's brain can lead to autism.
So my thing is like, I find it insane that people, would and my thing is that you have something like this, you have people in the comments, oh, I don't believe it. Who is RFK Jr. to say this? Who is it? If they're they're studying this and they're finding these different things, these indications, that this can lead to this can, I feel like that's something that, and I've always, I've always said that, to my family a lot, that, I say it to Chris, and I'd be like, that medicine, like having medicine, it that leads to other things, so try to take it, if you really need to get a girl's medicine and give, the girl's medicine, or if you really need to take medicine, but if not, don't take medicine. When you go to the hospital, I don't know if y'all know, but when you go to the hospital and we've taken our, daughter, and, she'll have, a sickness, and they'd be like, you just got to let it run its course. And as long as it's not getting too bad, you obviously you want to watch that fever, you want to watch this, you want to watch that. But a lot of times, you go to the hospital and they'll tell you, either, give them this medicine, help with the symptoms, or, let it run this course. And a lot of times, you do that. You find that home remedy. There's things you can do, cut up some oranges and some lemons and all that, and, boil that, get that stuff going. You know what I mean? Make some tea, take a hot shower. They have those tablets. Those Vicks tablets. We get Vicks tablets, we get Vicks tissues, we get, those different things. It's other things that you definitely can do, or if you a person, somewhat, like me, there's a lot of things that I do, when I figure it out at home. There's a lot of things, when it comes to, let's say, migraines, that be quick to, take this. No, just get you some caffeine. I had a neurologist, and I get migraines about once or twice, out of the month. I get bad migraines. My mom has a history of it, in my family, and I know y'all do. I've talked about it before. I've actually did videos, with migraines, which is crazy. But, and they told you, they have it. I don't know if y'all know what Excedrin is, but Excedrin has caffeine in it. And it helps. Obviously, I think it loosens up the nerves or something like that, but. I'm not at all good at this stuff and talking like this, but I promise y'all. You take some caffeine, get some dark chocolate, get some coffee or something, a Coke, not literally to drink. I gotta watch what I say on here. But get that, and get some caffeine in you, and it kind of helps that. Or if you don't want to eat anything, you don't want to drink anything, you can always, get you one of those things. They have these little tubs that you can put your feet in. They got them at Walmart or your, grocery store at about $20-$25. You can set your feet in there, or just sat in the bathtub. You ain't trying to spend money. So there's other ways that you can go about, and that's just headaches or migraines, but it's a lot. This Cheryl Hines says she's incredibly proud of her husband, RFK Jr. I did not know that, I don't know if y'all, one of my favorite movies is RV. And when I seen her talk on The View, and I was like, why does she seem so familiar? She sounds like this lady from the RV. And then lo and behold, it's her from RV. But, and I'm telling y'all, that's definitely one of my favorite movies. But, I seen, her on The View, and seeing how it was. I'm going to show y'all some clips. But before we do this is her on Fox News on RFK Jr. Check it out.
I think it's so amazing to have Bobby leading this MAHA movement where you're watching some of the things that he's accomplished, like getting rid of petroleum-based dyes in food, getting rid of ingredients in our food that other countries don't allow, looking at baby formula and getting rid of the arsenic and the lead that's in it. So when you see some of these accomplishments, it just, first of all, you wonder why it's all like this to begin with. But second of all, I'm really proud that Bobby's the person leading the charge.
Well, you should be, because it's a very important charge.
Yeah. I think it's so
Definitely.
amazing to have
Definitely.
Bobby.
And this is one thing about it is that I definitely love the fact, that you have her on here, and being proud, speaking highly, of her husband. And me personally, I love the simple fact that, we actually have people that are in Trump administration that are doing things that, we need to see, things that we need, to pay attention to, that we didn't see when, with the Biden Harris, White House. So it's definitely, I'm telling y'all, definitely pretty amazing. So you got to hear RFK Jr.'s wife, Cheryl Hines, appeared on The View to try and plug her upcoming memoir, but the host decided to use her visit to criticize her husband and the MAHA movement. So check it out.
HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s wife, Cheryl Hines, appeared on The View yesterday to try to plug her upcoming memoir. But the host decided to use her visit to criticize her husband and the Maha movement. Cheryl Hines refused to let the attacks slide.
Telling y'all. So she refused to let them, slide. Obviously, I ain't gonna lie. She did what she needs to do. And one thing, and I haven't watched all these clips, but what I do know from seeing the small clips is that she handled it very amazing. She handled it great. I know a lot of people was in the comments saying, "Oh, I would have acted differently. I would have did this, I would have did that." But the way that she handled the situation, from what I saw with the few seconds that I saw, she handled it pretty well. But it says here, an embarrassing moment for the View's Whoopi Goldberg when she tries, to how Whoopi get, tries to sit there and talk crazy, about individuals, and then she found the right one. Cheryl Hines definitely says something back. Check it out.
Your husband, when he announced basically that he believed he found some causal links between autism and Tylenol, it created a lot of panic in women who were being told by their OBGYNs who look at them that Tylenol, if necessary to treat pain during pregnancy, is safe. What would you say, and I know you're not a medical professional, but to women who now feel anxious and nervous because their doctor's telling them one thing, but the top public health professional is telling them something very different?
Well, they said consult your doctor before taking it. That's what they were saying, and that holds. So I agree. Listen, I've been pregnant. I understand it's stressful being pregnant. I found, because you're so concerned with everything. I didn't drink caffeine when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So
they tell you what, caffeine. They tell you seafood and stuff like that. Chris had to go through that same thing. And she had to, I think it was one coffee a day. Not a lot of seafood. Sandwich meat was one of them. There's a lot of things, that you can't, and it's so many questions that you ask, because you'll have a person of your family, telling you one thing because how they grew up, and then you'll have a doctor telling you one thing, and then you'll literally have, so it becomes stressful, not knowing that, you're obviously probably not going to listen to that family member, or if you do, you listen to them because that's your mom or your grandma and that's how they was raised, or, you listen to a doctor. So it is stressful on top of being pregnant. So, obviously I'm a man, so I don't really know too much, but I can just about imagine that it can become very stressful.
Say, hey, consult your doctor before you take this. I agree with that, and I think that's okay for moms to hear.
Cheryl?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now,
all right.
I am. This is not your fight, really, to be fighting. Yeah. This is your husband's fight.
Thank you for acknowledging that. But go ahead. But hear what we're talking about. Yeah.
I do want to say, he's not a doctor and he's not a professional.
Yes.
And oftentimes when he's speaking.
Okay, let me say this. I'm going to say this and I'm going to let the video play. Maybe. My thing is, I've said this before, and I wasn't trying to make this a long video, of course, but it looks like it's going to have to be that way. My thing is that this show is full of women. You would think, regardless, it doesn't matter, if you get, obviously y'all see somebody, within the Trump administration, their wife is up here and they down talk her. I find it completely insane. I find it completely messed up, that they have an individual, on their show and they get here and they down talk her. Y'all are a group of women. Regardless, that's one of the things, that you want to uplift. They've said it themselves. Uplift each other. I find it amazing when I see women of, and I don't always put race on, but women of all, all races, I love to see that, to uplift one another, to be there, to actually talk, to have that, because I feel like it's very important. Me personally, I definitely feel like it's important. I always feel like it's important, in general, just for people, to come together, but one thing about women, you got a lot of women on this show and they down talking her, and down talking her husband, saying that, oh, this isn't, your argument, but you literally sit here and you ask her a question. Of course, because if somebody has said something about their husband, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to defend. That's what you're supposed to do. Me personally, that's how I was raised. That's what you do. And on top of that, These are things that she said that's right. You know, these are facts. But then you have Whoopi getting the crowd hype, you know, to down talk, you know, this woman's husband. And that's something that's definitely wrong and sickening, you know, coming out of her mouth.
Times when he's talking, oftentimes when he's speaking, he is speaking not with the best information that we can get because, you know, yeah, we could do a lot better with health stuff. And there's a lot of stuff he can do. And some of the things he's suggested take it out of the hands of my doctor and me and my OBGYN and me. And I wonder, does it give you pause and are you able to say, you know, that might not actually be so because I've got my experience and I've lived with this and I'm still here. So are you able to have those conversations with her?
I am able to have those conversations. And just to be clear, 90% of secretaries of HHS have not been doctors.
But they've had a
There
science
have been
background.
3.
Yeah.
No, to be
You know
honest,
what? One of Obama's secretaries of HHS was an economist.
but
So
the majority of them that haven't had medical backgrounds have
Oh,
had
wait.
a science
Wait,
background.
don't
which
do
our husband
anything
doesn't
else.
have either.
Don't say anything else yet.
'Cause I do
we
wanna-
have to.
So then Whoopi goes and cuts her off because Sonny and her little, oh man, I be trying to watch what I say on here, y'all. I feel like this face right here that's coming from Sonny is probably the most. I feel like this right here is the face that pisses me off about Sonny right here. She does this when she feels she's right. If y'all watched, I know y'all don't watch the video, but if y'all watch my videos and y'all have seen this face, she does this little frown because she thinks she's right and thinks she's telling somebody off, and she's not. You can tell right there, you know, Cheryl Hines, now she getting activated. Now she get activated, and she probably knows exactly how Sunny Hostin is. But the fact that she says this, you know, that like they're literally on this show to down talk, you know, this woman's husband. That's something that you just don't do.
there have been 3.
Yeah.
No, to be
You know
honest,
what? One of Obama's secretaries of HHS was an economist.
but
So
the majority of them that haven't had medical backgrounds have
Oh,
had a
wait.
science
Wait,
background.
don't
which
do
our
anything
husband
else.
doesn't have either.
Don't say anything else yet.
'Cause I do
we
wanna-
have to take a break.
Then she said, but your husband doesn't have either. So you mad at a person that's literally doing what others didn't do. You know, those people that was up under Obama, they didn't do that. I haven't seen it. When they talking about, you know, these medicines and the food dye, I haven't seen it at all. I'm telling y'all, bro. This is absolutely insane to me. Absolutely insane to me. Check it out.
The problem, respectfully, is that your husband is the least qualified Department of Health and Human Services head that we've had in history.
I do not.
I think that's a very dangerous.
Why is he less qualified than an economist?
I think
How is that
he
possible?
is less
He
qualified.
has spent his career studying toxins, studying people's health, fighting for one guy who was using Roundup for his job.
He has also spread a lot of misinformation, a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, and I think it's just a very dangerous thing. I say it with.
It's a very dangerous thing for somebody to tell you that something is bad for you. So let me break this down. You would rather take that chance of eating something or drinking something that's possibly bad for you rather than you listen to somebody to not eat this bad. I mean, we gotta think about it. A lot of these things obviously are, you know, it's medicine, you know, or they're snacks. So you take that chance of you eating something or you drinking something rather than listen to somebody who's actually studying this and letting everybody know this stuff is probably, you know, bad. Even if it's, you know, maybe it's not. You're literally going to take that chance to eat or drink that. That's basically what Sunny Hostin is saying right now. This is all because of the hatred of Donald Trump. This is because of that in the Trump administration. That's all it is. Because let me tell y'all something. If RFK Jr. wasn't up under, you know, wasn't in the Trump administration or anything like that, you know, had anything to do with Trump, I guarantee this conversation to be 10 times different. These are things that they do because they don't like President Trump. and they don't like the Trump administration. They don't like nobody has anything to do with Trump, vote for Trump, support Trump, nothing. And these are things that they do. Y'all got this woman on here, this amazing woman, Cheryl Hines, on The View, and y'all sitting here down talking her and her husband. It literally just goes to show you that this show is nothing but putting out hate.
The utmost
Some
respect.
some of it's good and some of it's not. That's
Well,
the point.
listen, we all have different views here.
Yes.
And when you say, misinformation, disinformation, we could go back to COVID when
He's connecting circumcision to autism.
May I finish?
Please.
When Fauci people were saying when you get the vaccine, you cannot transmit COVID. It will stop COVID. And that was disinformation, misinformation.
We were also still learning about it. It was a novel virus.
Exactly. Okay, so they're literally answering. They're answering their own arguments. They're literally answering. So Alyssa want to butt in talking about, we're also learning. Okay, just like RFK Jr. is learning. Just like doctors are learning. Doctors are learning. I'm talking about as the days goes. Everybody is learning. So they're literally, you can't sit there and say that it just goes to show you on how man, let me just stop. It's just dumb. You know what I mean?
Now the doctors will acknowledge that.
And Dr. Fauci has a medical degree.
At the time, they were censoring Bobby because Bobby said, where's the science to show us this? And there wasn't any. But people attacked him and said, you're wrong. So it's like, let's take a step back. I know that's your opinion, and that's okay.
Exactly. That's your opinion, and that's okay. That's your opinion, and that's okay. It literally just goes to show you on how hateful these women are. I'm telling y'all. But as y'all see, and y'all let me know y'all comments and thoughts about it, But you literally got here Joy Behar saying that Republicans are afraid to come on The View. I guess. As she stated here.
I think that we should have more Republicans on the show, but they don't want to come on. They're scared of us. It's like Marjorie Taylor Greene says that she finds the Republican men afraid of powerful women. Well, that may be true of all the political persuasions. But if they would come on this show, they can explain to us what they're trying to do to this country.
And one thing about it is that they put out more and more lies. They put out lies. These are things that they do, things that they'll continue to do. There's a lot of Republicans I know for a fact that would love to go on this show and put all these women in their places. I guarantee they don't want that because they're scared. I'm gonna tell y'all why. They're scared that their audience. I can tell y'all right now, if they just have a week, man, I ain't gonna say a week, 2 days. Get about 2-3 days of people that really, I'm talking about, and I ain't even gonna name none. Matter of fact, that's what I'm gonna do. Who would y'all like to see on the show? That's my comment. Comment down below and let me know who y'all would like to see on the show. I feel like that. Yeah, I want to see who y'all would like to get. You got 2 days. 2 days, and let's say four guests. 2 guests for each day. Which four guests would y'all like to see for those 2 days on the show with having Republicans? I want to know this. And I want to know this for the simple fact, because I know that they'll within the 4 people that y'all pick, and hopefully, I see, some of the same individuals, within the comments. But and I'm gonna pin the comment who I agree with, 100%. But I want to know, I definitely want to know. Because I definitely feel like their audience, once they audience see, and when they learn and when they, the facts get out there, they're scared that their views, their ratings are definitely going to, decrease, which they already are. And y'all think that they having this fake clapping audience now? Oh, just about imagine, when they got people that's actually not even showing up and they have to pull the old Kamala play with having to pay people. Telling you. Says breaking, Democrats are now calling for HHS Secretary RFK Jr. to resign. Which, again, not surprised. But one thing about it is that I know for a fact that regardless to it, that's just going to show you, the hatred that they have, that he's actually doing his job, the right way. So one thing about it, y'all let me know y'all comments, thoughts down below. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.